A man walked into his house and was delighted when he discovered that someone had stolen all his lamps. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. Today let's talk about Relic Delta and what we should do to prepare for it. It's coming in a week or so, it sounds like. And a lot of panic going on. A lot of people have asked me for this video, actually. I hope this is going to be helpful. Huge shout out to my patrons, by the way. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support, guys. And if you want to support the channel for free, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Guys, I'm gonna start a new account, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm going to, though. And if I am, then that's pretty cool, right? High five. But yeah, stay tuned. Hit that sub button if you want more updates and notifications for new player content that will be coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. So let's first off, the very first thing, let's look at what's Relic Delta. I mean, if you don't know what Relic Delta is, I'm not going to take the time to explain it necessarily. It just basically means that as Relic disparity continues to climb, then your characters take more damage, they do less damage to characters that have more relics than them. And I guess the reason I wanted to show this specific, like this is the final modifier count that CG has given us for Relic Delta. And essentially what it means, I'm not going to talk about how it feels, how it makes us, like, feel. What I am going to say is Relic 7 is like basically safe. Maybe not all the way safe, not completely safe, but you're not gonna have a lot of Relic 10 right away. And so people with and really like Relic 9 is going to have a lot more representation now. A lot of people are going to have more access to Relic 9, but that's not going to be overnight, and for the most part people aren't going to have full Relic 9 teams. Like, how many teams did you used to see that were fully Relic 8? Like, some, but not nearly as many as you might think. And so we're going to talk about how to prepare for Relic Delta with like that kind of framework of Relic 7 tends to be safe. If you get a character to 7, I mean, you maybe want it higher on some teams, which we'll talk about, but a lot of times Relic 7 is safe, because yeah, you're doing 10% less damage and you're taking 10% more damage, but I mean, with all the variance that goes on, that's usually, if you have good modding and stuff, that's usually going to be fine. So that being said, let's get into the game, shall we? Whoa, we're in the game. This is unprecedented madness. So let's go. Okay, the first thing I want to point out, actually, let's stop doing the zoomed in mode for a sec. So we're on my alt, and the first thing I want to point out is my biggest advice is hoard for a week. Honestly, like, because this guide is meant to help people who want to work on stuff, and I want to do that. I'll definitely be putting relic levels on stuff, but guys, honestly, hoarding is going to be really good, especially, so one of the biggest changes Relic Delta has for us, and don't judge me on what I've purchased here, I haven't done any of my dailies yet on this account. The biggest thing, in my opinion, that's going to change things is where all of the big relic pieces are that you can buy. First off, you can buy droid brains for Mark III, I think. Now I forget. Maybe it's just scavenger. It doesn't matter. I'm not even talking about droid brains. Like, this isn't like how to maximize your character and roster. This is how to prepare for things. The biggest thing, though, so Zinbiddles and Electrium right now are purchased with the Mark III currency. It's going to get downgraded to Mark II currency. So those things, honestly, Electriums are like the biggest crunch, because Zinbiddles only cost 10 for the Relic 7, and so we tend to have a lot more Zinbiddles available than Electriums, because Electriums just start at 20 and they start at a gear or relic level lower than you normally go. So anyways, these two are going to be going down to Mark 2 currency, and that's gonna share. I think people have been like, dude, what about the Gear 12 bottleneck? I actually think the Gear 12 bottleneck is still intended to be a bottleneck. I don't think that's going to change a whole lot. Of course, I could be wrong. It's so tough to read all of their text and know exactly what's going to happen, but it looks like that this bottleneck is going to be about the same. And so in some ways, we're going to have a less Mark II, but Mark II has typically been something that you know, we could spare for the for Electrium especially. And then the other big thing here is we're going to have bronziums go to Mark 1 and actually be an affordable price. Like, this is an insulting, stupid price, and you should almost never pay for it for the current Mark 2 purchases with bronzium. It's terrible. And I know some people are going to be like, I don't even have a bronzium wiring shortage. Like, oh, it's not even a bottleneck for me. Like, sure, I get it, but I've never not experienced it until I got my main account to a certain point. But like, that's by far on this account, that's the biggest, worst by far bottleneck. And that's all going to go into Mark 1, and it's going to be affordable. That's the awesome part. Like, it's actually going to be a decent price. And so that's not how it exists right now. It's going to be how it exists in a week or so, however. So I would hoard, especially your guild currency. One of the things or the raid currency, one of the things you can keep in mind, and I know this will drive you crazy and some people won't want to do it, when you're done with the raid, you know how you get the box, in your inbox you get the gear, you get the stuff from it, the rewards from your raid. If you can bear the little notification thing for a week, then I would just save it in your inbox, and just so you don't waste currency. Like, I would just, if you're like, well, I already have maxed out currency. Obviously I don't, but if you do already have close to maxed out currency, you can keep it in your inbox. It stays there for a week. Obviously don't waste any raid currency out of like some weird principle or whatever, but like, you can do it potentially if you want to. So that would be my biggest advice. First off, is just hoard a little bit. Like, wait for a week. For me, I don't like to hoard. I feel like it just kind of disengages me from the game. And you know, I realize that there's probably like bigger issues at stake. You know, that kind of indicates like character flaws involved, that I'm like have to compulsively spend my gear and upgrade my guys instead of just being patient for a week. But it is what it is. So if for those of us who really have to upgrade things, like, well, let's look at the teams that we should be looking at to be upgrading it and getting ready for it, because Relic 7 is safe for the most part. But as it turns out, a lot of people don't have Relic 7 or higher on everyone. And first off, I think Galactic Legends, I mean, the answer is almost always Galactic Legends for things like, what should I work on first? Probably Galactic Legend Relic levels. You know, what should I apply Relic 10 to first? I mean, maybe Relic. Well, I'll be putting out a video on that at some point as well. But maybe, maybe just Galactic Legends. Have you thought of that? So Hutt Cartel is the only team that I named for some reason, first off, so that'll be distracting for you now that I pointed it out. But the Hutt Cartel team, after doing a ton of roster reviews, guys, I'm just gonna give you this one for free. People are real lazy about upgrading their Hutt Cartel. I mean, even look at me. I preach this all the time. I'm like, dude, get your Hutt Cartel up and run. Like, they're awesome in so many game modes. It is so good. Like, almost the worst game mode is GAC, and they're still really strong in GAC. And you're gonna be able to stop all these weird off-meta counters and stuff if you just put a bunch of thickness on the team. And yet people just go Relic 5 Chrysanthemum, check. Boosh, Relic 5, check. Embo, Relic like nothing, Gear 0, because they haven't unlocked Lord Vader yet, and they don't see how valuable he can be on the team. Check. And then Skiff Guard Lando, I mean, probably what I'll do on this account for a while at least is just throw Boba in here instead of Skiffguard Lando. Like, you can kind of get a decent amount of output from Boba instead of him. I would say Skiffguard Lando's like a good stretch goal, though. He is really good on this team, honestly. But this team, you don't want to get taken out by something super casually. And also, this team is just great for all the different game modes. Well, I think one of the biggest ones that people are going to notice at least some decline in will be their Supreme Leader Kylo teams. Like, I'll see people with, like Relic 9 Supreme Leader Kylo, which is great. That's cool. Good decision making, in my opinion. Though Relic 8 is also fine. You know, my alt kind of shows the truth of what's really practical on a lot of levels. But a lot of people unlocked Supreme Leader Kylo and then left their characters at low Relic levels because they could. Because all they do is just stand there and don't, you don't really ever see your characters getting killed and stuff, or if they do, you're just like, well, it's Supreme Leader Kylo, they're supposed to die. They're gonna die so easy though, guys. Think of the teams that Supreme Leader Kylo is targeting right now. He's not just killing like Ewoks or something. He's taking out your opponent's best stuff a lot of times. Like, he's taking out Pirate King Hondo, who's like Relic 9 for a lot of people, and a lot of those pirates are going to be Relic 8 or 9 because of the raid, and you're going to have one character that can do damage. And all of your other characters are already squishy enough, right? Like, Hux just casually dies. You're like, oh, what the hell, Hux? Like, you're abandoning me again? Like, was it us that did that to you? Is that lore accurate? But like, they just die so easy. And not that you need a ton of damage from them, but it's also, you're taking a substantial amount of damage extra from these teams that are Relic 9, and they just do an AoE, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. I can't believe you killed half my team doing that one little AoE without even critting. But that's just how it's going to be with Relic Delta. And so, getting Hux up and running, I don't know how often you use your First Order Stormtrooper. That was my most recent Relic on this account, actually, was putting one on this guy, because he does some pretty good stuff with Supreme Leader Kylo. Anyways, this team is just fraught with peril. A lot of the teams are like, well, we've had so many Galactic Legend unlocks that require increasingly higher Relic levels as requirements that we don't necessarily, it's like the CLS team is already going to be Relic 7 or higher for the most part. But First Order is just this little pocket of characters that you upgrade once to get the unlock and then never talk to again. So getting some of these guys to Relic 7 is going to be important because this team is countering a whole lot of stuff. And if you want to put it on defense, it's going to be kind of weak as well. Ray team, a very similar principle like Baby Cal. He's not required at anything other than like Gear 12 anyways, I think. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. I'm sure you will in the comments. But like Commander Ahsoka, yes, she'll be Relic 9 for me eventually because of Ahsoka. But Ben isn't required at anything. He is very constantly Relic 5 on people's accounts as well. The Ray team, if you're going to keep putting it on defense, you're going to get destroyed by all the people who have like Relic 7 or Relic 8 Starkiller teams that just run you over. It's like Starkiller is just going to start hunting these teams super hard when Ben can't do any damage. And most people aren't going to have Cat on this team, frankly. That's my account. I don't have Kenobi on this squad or on this account, so I can have her on my Ray team or whatever. But like Baby Cal, you want him to live, and if someone's hitting him with their Relic 8 character, he's just gonna die pretty hard. And people are using high relics to counter Ray teams. Like, they're using these really high well-developed teams to be able to counter Galactic Legend. So getting your Ray characters up is probably another one. I mean, this applies to most of Galactic Legends. I'm not going to go through all of them, but those are just like some really common ones that I think people are going to run into. Bane is someone you could upgrade. I've been considering this as my first Relic 10, honestly, for my main account, maybe even this account, because if you get him to 10, you upgrade an entire team to Relic 10. And then he just he's got that advantage against, because what's he hunting? Everything. He kills pretty much everything. And at Relic 10, that means they'll be taking less damage, not just because of the stats you get, but because of Relic Delta, and he'll be doing more damage to most of the things, the majority of teams. And like, he'll just destroy a team like this Supreme Leader Kylo, for instance, because Relic 10 versus like Relic 5 is just a really gross percentage difference. And so that's why you want to get higher relics on these guys to protect against things like Darth Bane casually wiping your team. And it's a full team. You're like, hey, I got my first full team Relic 10. People are like, wait, what? Really? Already? Oh, it was just Bane. Like, that makes sense to me. Jedi Master Luke, another one. A lot of times, like, for instance, a lot of people leave Jedi Revenant Relic 3 because they can, and that's a no-go for lots of reasons. Wampa, I'm curious to see. I wouldn't pull the trigger on Wampa quite yet, guys, but it does seem like a high Relic Wampa could do some interesting stuff, especially in 3v3. Teams that you don't necessarily like think about how weak your team is until Relic Delta comes around. So this Finn Zori team is going to be interesting because if you can take a couple initial hits, you might still be able to win just by virtue of, like, you'll kill a Galactic Legend with these guys sometimes, but you need real damage to kill them usually. And so Relic Delta kind of prevents that. The thing about it is, a lot of teams they can kill with just exposes. And exposes are going to still do the same amount of damage. And so at first glance, it looks like, hey, you could just keep this team at low relics. But I mean, I'm using this team right now. I just recently killed a full Galactic Legend Ahsoka team with this specific team. Like, I dropped a ton of banners and it was kind of a mess, but I still did. Like, Relic 3 on the Zori, everyone else is Relic 5 because they're just unlocked from Rey and left alone, just discarded as the filth they are. But if you want to be able to keep countering things that don't just die from exposes, then a team like this is really going to need some help. A Traya squad is another one you really want to be considering, guys, because you're going to see like guns, for instance, that people place, and you're like, oh yeah, Traya will do that. That'll be awesome. You know, and then you realize that your whole Traya team is just Relic 3 or Relic 4 or something like that. Like, I just recently got Savage up to 6 for some reason from like Relic 3 in preparation for Relic Delta, because guns, people are going to have them at Relic 8 because of the raid, and you're going to want to be able to beat that with Traya, but they'll just get auto-deleted by guns. Like, it's already kind of a close match anyways sometimes, and those guns aren't going to take damage from anyone except for the auto-delete by Nihilus, but Nihilus is probably going to die because he's so squishy anyways. So that's a team that a lot of people are going to, like, you lean heavily on them, and now suddenly they're just going to die. Plus, like, Traya kills Queen Amidala teams, for instance, and Queen Amidala is very consistently Relic 9 for a lot of people because of the assault battle from the Lover Boys, and so that's a team to be looking for. Finally, I would say maybe don't work on your old school Night Sisters, because I think Plague will probably just end up killing your opponents anyways, and you guys are going to die earlier. Maybe get Marin up to like Relic 12 or something. And, you know, this is going to be a really interesting team to see how it works. But I would pump the brakes on this. If you're down to like, hey, I've upgraded everything except for this Night Sisters team, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It is something to be thinking about, though, because we've traditionally been rewarded for lower relics, right? So, just some stuff to be thinking about, guys. I hope this was helpful. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zereth prevails. Take care, folks.